Welcome to the Grapefully Yours Wine Show. And today I've got my co-host here, the wine butler, Mike Pigeon. I'm Jim Campanini. We have Teddy Painus on the controls. Good morning, Teddy. How are you?
Good morning, gentlemen.
How are you, Mike?
I'm very well, thank you.
What's going to happen to Bill Belichick?
Oh, maybe he's going to wind up coaching at Michigan next year when Harbaugh leaves.
Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, Michigan won the national championship last night, beating Washington. I stayed up all night to watch that. I thought there was going to be an upset, but it was a good game. Good game. Yeah, I hope Bill stays in coaching wherever he is. You know, I still like the guy. I still think he's the greatest coach ever, football coach ever. So, but today we're going to talk about some aged wines and why you shouldn't shy away from them. You know, when I say aged wines, these are older wines, 10 years older. I call them mature wines. Of course, there's a difference, though, between a mature wine that is made, structured to grow old gracefully, and then just a bulk wine that is just made, put in a bottle, and then you see it's reduced on the shelf. For $7.99, it was selling for $20 at one time. You should know the wine, where it came from, who made it. There are names like Caymus, Duckhorn, a lot of them from California. If you're buying this country, good wine houses that make Cabernet Sauvignons, Merlot, and other wines that are built to last. Okay, and Italian wines, French wines, the same. So sometimes you see these wines, you see them in the clearance shelf. You can go to the New Hampshire liquor store and other places, and they're selling them, with great values, $8, $10, $15 off. And yes, they can be a real good deal. Okay. Most of the time, those wine outlets are just changing over the stock. They got like 3 or 4 bottles left, or maybe a case, and they just want to get rid of them. Yes, that could be a great deal. I've bought those wines before, okay? But the big thing is knowing what type of wine you're buying from and who you're buying from. It's got to be a recognized producer. Just looking it up on your phone or Vivino, okay? Get the app, Vivino wine app, and it will give you a drinking window, and it'll tell you, is that wine still, that drinking window tells you that's the time to drink it for peak performance. Outside of that window, you can still drink it. It's still good wine, but it might not be as fresh tasting. Okay? So you've had older wines. What do you...
Yeah, that's true. I never fully understood it. To me, you put the wine in the bottle, you put a good tight cork or a screw cap on, which is just as good as the corks. And unless you put something foreign in there to stabilize it, why wouldn't each wine just stay the same until you pop the cork?
It's called oxidation. The second you pop this cork, air gets into the wine. Air in the alcohol mix, and it just oxygen, okay, it deteriorates the wine. That's why I tell people, you got a nice bottle of wine, you're not going to finish it all in one night. Put it in a refrigerator. Put a top on it like this, or the cork back in it, and put it in your refrigerator. Keep it fresh.
But until you pop the cork,
yeah.
Why doesn't each wine stay the equal of the other wine?
Because of the structure, the fermentation process, the grapes involved.
Isn't that
yes.
Yeah. Takes years to figure that out.
Because most of the long-lived wines, okay, have strong tannic qualities. That's why red wines last longer than white wines.
Very good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the extraction from the grapes, the skins, that all adds to it. So that's why a lot of the great Italian and French wines, the Bordeaux's, the Italian Super Tuscans, or from any country, even Chile, Argentina, those long-lived wines, they age them before they sell them. So a good tip off is to know that Chianti Classico is going to be aged for at least 12 to 24 months before it's sold, because those tannins are harsh.
They're breaking down and
You'll
they're
want to soften
replenishing
them.
itself.
Yes.
That's
'Cause
interesting.
If you drink that wine right away, yeah, you can drink it,
Yeah.
but that tannic quality, that dryness,
Isn't that something?
it's going to your mouth is going to pucker.
Pucker,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, a little, and different. So you want to be aware of the type of wine that you're drinking, and just look it up and see that drinking window, and maybe you can get away with it, because even those drinking windows are subjective. Okay, these are experts saying, well, I've tried it a couple of times during its life, and it's still holding its structure, it's still holding its color, it still looks vibrant. So this particular wine is a special one. It's from Baron Ricasoli Winery, one of the oldest and now the largest in central Tuscany. Okay, and this is from the Chianti Classico region, Castello di Broglio. And Baron Ricasoli, okay, is the owner that's been in the family since 1154. If you go on, if you look up the Castello di Broglio, okay, website, or Baron Ricasoli, okay, you will see a beautiful fortress castle, walled castle, okay, that sits high on a hilltop, and all down the sides of the hills are chestnut trees, oak trees, olive trees, and then the vineyards, start all the way down. It's about a 400-acre estate right now. Prime Chianti Classico land, okay, and it's defended Florence in every war that they've had. They used to fight almost every 10 years with Siena, and everybody else, Milan and everything else. And the Ricasoli family dates back to to the 12th century. Right now, Bettino, the father, he really brought the winery into the modern era. He built beautiful underground wine cellars, separate from the castle. Oh, you get. My friend took a tour of it, and then they have a tavern there, a restaurant. You can have lunch there. It was the highlight. He went to Italy for a month. He said it was one of the highlights of his trip. The tour, the castle has beautiful artwork all along the walls. It's all been redone. The ceilings and stuff. He said it wasn't an old musty castle. Okay, he said it was modernized. It was beautiful. The architecture, all the draperies and furnishings. He said it was a really beautiful time. But he said, because he had to buy tickets in advance to get in there. But this was 2013, and it's a Grand Selezione. So what does Grand Selezione mean?
Well, it's a grand selection. It's a grand selection, the best of the best, isn't it?
It's the best of the best. It's the highest tier of Chianti Classico.
Designations.
You have Chianti Classico, then you have your Chianti Classico Reserve, which means it's aged an extra year. Yeah. Then you have Grand Selezione, which means that it's fermented and aged longer. So before this can hit the market, it's going to be aged for almost 3 years.
Respado.
Yes, 3 years. And they use the best grapes selected in the vineyard for the Grand Selezione. Now, as I mentioned before, a producer who does this, he's going to wait 3 to 5 years before he can sell this to the public. It's going to meet the strictest requirements. Can you smell that?
Yes, I can very easily. I'm hoping it's good because it's like overpowering.
So it's an 11-year-old wine.
Ooh.
And I opened this yesterday. Had a glass last time. My wife made nice sausages with the gnocchi and a little sauce on top, homemade sauce, and crusty Italian bread. And I said, "You got to taste this, Mary Lee," of course, because she was drinking her white wine, and even she liked it. But this is an 11-year-old wine. I looked it up on Antonio Galloni's website, which I subscribe to, and the drinking window was like in peak performance. It was 2019 to 2025. So just think about it. Antonio Galloni's an expert. I mean, he's one of the best in the world. He's saying this wine, the vintage is 2013. It sat in bottle for a whole year before it was released to the public, and then tacked on another 12 months. So this didn't hit the market till about 2014, 15. And he's saying, don't drink it until 2019 if you want to really taste it, what it's capable of doing.
True taste value of the wine. Yeah.
I mean, it is unbelievable. For an 11-year-old wine, it's still fresh. And look at the color, still inky. There is a little bricking. Now, when I say bricking, it gets brown around the rim. And in older red wines, they lose color. So they do get a little brownish tint around the rim. Nothing wrong with it. It's just a factor that
it's around the edge. It's not like an Amarone yet, but it's
you still get that nice deep purple garnet hues, colors, and the little bricking. But
very nice, still
the smell, and you've got that nice. It actually smells thick. It smells sweet cherry.
Yeah,
the viscosity of it, and there's like a little menthol or mint, But
that's something. All you had to do was uncork it, and the aroma of it came like still very good. Isn't that nice?
Silky.
Yeah,
Silky,
you could have waited
smooth.
Another 5 years for that.
Well, that's the amazing thing.
Yeah.
So this wine, when it originally hit the market, was about $70 a bottle. My friend bought a case of it. He got it for around 55 euro. Mm-hmm. He's from Florida. Mike Matona, the fraternity brother. He just raved about it, loved it. He was up here visiting his mother around Christmas. He said, I brought you a present. He gave me a bottle. And I said, I'll try it. And I said, if I like it, I'll talk about it on my show. Well, it is absolutely phenomenal. And you're right. I should have waited, a little bit. But no, the performance of it is just exceptional.
Be awful if you waited too long and a wine like that went by. But boy, the way it tastes, it has a long way to go before it goes by.
Now have one of these little pepper biscuits. Oh, you got one?
Yeah, I took one earlier. Yeah,
you eat one of these little pepper biscuits because this has a little pepper, a little pepper taste at the end of it. It's spicy. I should say spicy. It's got lavender, a little mint, menthol, but the sweet cherry that still comes through it, and licorice. It's that licorice that just knits it. It just holds it all together, but very, very, very expressive. Excellent, and intense.
Yeah. 2013,
So I was very happy that with this wine. You could probably find this at the Saratoga Wine Exchange. Go on Total Wine. Some major houses might have it still in stock, but use it as a guide because Grapefully makes great wines. So you can probably, if they don't have the 13 anymore, look at the 15, which is a classic year, the 18, and the 19, 20, and 21. Those they're classic vintages right now. Those are the ones you buy now, store them in your cellar. You'll keep them in the cellar in a nice cool spot for about 5-6 years, and you'll be rewarded when you finally do open it up. So while we're on this, I wanted to show you this bottle, which is a staple of my wine cellar. I got this in a special spot on the wall. So look at the date, look at the vintage on this. This is a 1964, Baron Riccosli Chianti Classico Reserva. So this is an aged wine. Now, this is a 64. it's probably long past its usefulness. Good Chiantis can last 20 to 30 years. In 1994, who's the president in 1994? You remember? Teddy, who's the president in 1994? Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton might have drank a bottle of this, but
With a good cigar, it's
But,
a great wine.
but yeah, so I'm not going to open this bottle. Okay, look, it's got the limited edition number. I don't think it's worth much as one by itself at an auction or something. I just keep this to show.
I'd never open that.
No. But if you look at it, it's still got the right original color. Now, we were talking about this before the show started. If we pop this cork, because of oxidation, this will degrade rapidly in the glass. It'll probably turn a little color. Maybe it is a little discolored. I can't see it. But it's still probably drinkable. It won't taste great. I compare it to if you had a glass of Coke or any effervescent soda and left it out and it got flat.
Open it up. We'll get right to it.
Yeah, all
We'll see
right.
if
That's what it says. But look at the label. Bettino, Baron Francesco, who's the who runs the winery now. He's the son to Bettino. Bettino probably he made this wine. It's probably a classic, but it doesn't even show up on the searches anymore. It's probably all out of stock now. How did I get this wine? I got this from Ricardo Rock at Ricardo's. When he closed down his business, he had a bunch of old wines in his own cellar and stuff. And through friendship, he gave me a couple of bottles. He said, "This is a keeper, Jim. Keep it to remind you of me and everything." And I said, "Oh yeah, you always wanted to be Italian, Ricardo, And but yeah, so this will never be open. It's a remembrance, but just to show you the difference, the age, the aged wines and their value. So it's important to me. It's like it's an heirloom or something. So I won't open it. But
make a good doorstop.
Yeah.
No, it's interesting. That's 64. Wow.
64. Yeah. I wonder if Baron Francesco probably has this in his cellar right now, and but. I'll send him a clip of this show, and he could reminisce about it and stuff like that. Yeah. The label holds up very well,
Yeah, that's a beautiful label, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's got the shield on there, and
beautiful. Okay, so last we're going to talk about a wine that's built to age. Okay, it's one of my favorite wines, but you don't drink it often. It's called a meditation wine, okay? Amarone, okay? From Tuscany. Amarone, you've heard of the region Valpolicella. There's a Valpolicella wine, Valpolicella, Valpolicella Classico. Well, Amarone, okay? Amarone della Valpolicella. So this is a blend, all right, of 3 or 4 grapes: Rondinella, Molinaro, Asaletto, and what was the 4th? They don't use. Corvina. Corvina is one of the main grapes in it, all from the Valpolicella region. Now, this wine, it's done in a different process. They call it appassimento. So when they pick the grapes, they put them on. They put them on mats. They dry them out like raisins. The Italians, the traditional way, is to put them in the lofts of the barns when they have open windows on each side, so the wind goes right through them and dries out the grapes. And after 3 or 4 months, when those are raisinated, they give them a hard press. You can imagine now, those resinated grapes have lost most of their liquid. Okay, so what they're getting when they're pressing is the liquid that comes out is very, very concentrated, extracted, okay, which gives it a rich, robust flavor. And it also doesn't have the high concentration of sugar. Okay, raisinated grapes have a lot of sugar in it, but the way they ferment it, they keep the alcohol high. Amarones have to be 15% or more alcohol. I think this one is 15.5%.
16? 15. Yeah.
It's got to be over 15%.
Wow.
To be called Amarone and to sell it. But Amarone has to age from 4 to 5 years because of that concentration, the extract, and they keep it in the tubs. What they do is, so they'll take all those raisins after they're crushed, and they create a must. You know, the juice falls down into the vats. Well, then they take all that liquid, okay, and they pour it over the must to come through again, strain it again. So it picks up any extract left behind and stuff. So think about it. It's a stealth wine, you know, but it's also very tannic because it's got all those concentrated, traits in it, so it has to age in oak barrels, wood barrels, for up to 2 years, then in bottle for almost 2 years before it can go to the public. But you've tasted the wine, velvety smooth, beautiful aromas, rich robust. It's a wine for big meals, osso buco, you know.
It's a heavy wine.
It's a heavy wine, yes. And like they call it a meditation wine because the Italians, you know, they drink it with desserts by the fireplace, big hearty stews. You know, it's a wine to sit down, pour it in a glass, let it sit there, and you sip it slowly.
Almost like a port wine would be.
Yeah, but
it
not
doesn't
as
taste
fortified.
like
No, because it's
but
dry.
I mean, you sip it and
Yes.
you just very sip it.
It starts out very, very a lot of blue and black fruits.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's those secondary and tertiary flavors that come to the top: anise, licorice, a lot of rural herbs. You know, and stuff. So it's a very tasty wine, and when it's done right, it just flows silkily across your palate. It really sparks a reaction. It ends dry. So just think you start out with a fruity, and it goes through these waves of taste, and then boom, ends nice and subtle and dry, and it's long lasting. You can take a sip of Amarone, and that the reflections in your brain will last for 10 to 15 seconds. You know, it's just a beautiful, beautiful wine. This is a 2010. Okay, so here we are, 2024, 14 years old. This is still considered a baby. Okay, Amarones can last up to 30 years. I'm waiting for it to hit the 20-year mark. I hope I'm still around. You know.
When I first met you, you said to me, "I don't know why I'm buying these wines that you can't drink for 10 years. I won't be alive then." Well, those wines now are 10 years past that date. So you're still here and you're still buying them and still tasting them.
Well, yeah, I got the 15s, which was a classic year, and I have a couple of 16s, and then that's it. And that's what I'm looking for. They're on the market because think about it. The 16 actually came out in 2020. So they're always 3 to 4 years behind, okay? So the vintage. So they're out there because right now it's 2024. Oh well, the 2019s are just coming onto the market now. So it's not like you're gonna play catch up. They're out there. The only thing is they're gonna exact the price. They cost about anywhere from $70 to $120 a bottle. They are expensive because it takes so long to produce them, and they're a long-lived wine. So, but if you should try, try it, see what you think of the taste and stuff. But this is a type of wine. I remember when my niece, who lives in Barrington, Rhode Island, when her first son was born, I gave her a bottle of Amarone from the year that he was born, and then I did it for the second son, and I said, "Have no more children." This would be ready when he graduates high school. This is the one you want to open, So that's it's a great gift. and Speri. I met Lucas Speri several times in the past at wine tastings and stuff. He's a great. The Speri family has been making this Amarone from the 16th century, and it's beautiful. So, what do you have to do? Any closing thoughts?
No, that's 64 bottle. I mean, there's a lot of wines older than that, but it's interesting is what happens if I do pop it and might be real disappointed. Now you don't have the bottle with the wine in it anymore. I'd leave it just like that and leave it on the shelf. It's nice.
You know what comes to mind when I think of 1964? Okay, it was the Red Sox were in last place, but it was the year Dave Moorhead pitched a no-hitter. Yeah. He always stuck out in my mind. Dave Moorhead pitched a no-hitter, 1964.
And he went into the clubhouse and they didn't have champagne. They had Amarone. They opened it up and
I love it. I would like to open this Amarone, but it's my final bottle.
94 points.
You know, at one time I had 6 bottles of this. I just couldn't resist. But I said I'm gonna save this one, and
now were you gonna buy another 4 or 5 bottles this year of Amarone, different years maybe to replenish what you don't have anymore?
I think I'll buy 1 or 2.
1 or 2.
1 or 2. No, you know, I'm starting to drink more of what's in the cellar now because they're
getting older.
They're getting older. I'm getting older, and there's some exquisite wines, you know, and that's why I have you as my co-host and co-drinker, you know. So, but it's an enjoyable. I'm glad I started, you know, collecting these wines. Now I'm getting my rewards. I mean, I still get the Washington State collection and California, but I love the Italian. I love the Italian wines and the few French bottles that I have and stuff. So when you buy wine, you buy them for a reason. You know, you want to taste them, you want to enjoy them. You know, build up a loyalty with some of these producers that you really like, and buy their wines. Grow old and gracefully with them. You know, that's what I say. And maybe sometime you might even meet them. And it's a joy if you travel, whether it's to Chile, France, Italy. You can go to their wineries and meet with them and stuff and talk with them. But Baron Ricasoli, the winery, is certainly it's a destination place. Anybody who goes to Tuscany should see it's the largest winery in the region, and they have a great environment there. So you'd love it. So that's it for today, Mike. Yep. You can't kick Bill anymore when he's down. So you picked the Patriots to win only 4 games.
4 games
exactly
at the beginning of the year. I said they would win 4, no more.
You should be writing for the Atlantic or the Boston Globe. You know,
if I had bet on it, they would have won 6 games or something.
So anyway, I'm just going to put a little more in my glass here.
Yeah, you brought all the cookies and only half an ounce of wine. That's not right here.
Just to toast our audience, because this is a classic, velvety, silky smooth.
That'd make a nice gemstone, wouldn't it? Huh?
Yes. So until our next show,
Salute.
may the wine be with you. Enjoy.